there was that incident in 2003 where Vince kind of stopped a match with you and Tajiri, at a house show.
You know what? It's funny. Someone just brought that up the other day, and well, this was the deal, right? And was it 2003?
I believe so. Okay.
Yeah. Well, anyways, a lot of people online got mad at Vince, right? Like, we were out there, and before the match, he was like, hey, you can't make any mistakes. That's when he was going on the loop, right? And, on the house show loops, coast to New York and stuff. And then Tajiri, like, because in ECW, just if they started chanting boring, you just work out of it and, and go into something or do whatever, right? And I was told by an agent, and I'm not revealing any names, because I don't believe in that. Hey, if they grab a hold and they chant boring, just sit on there, right? So I'd have them work out, and I'd snap there, and like we didn't call anything, but Giri was all about calling stuff. So I think he just got nervous, and then they were chanting boring. So obviously they're watching the match, right? And so then I snapped there, and I checked them. I go, you want to see boring? Lock that reverse chin lock again. I did that like 3 times, and anyways, I thought Vince was working, right? Because he said you can't. Like, I thought, like, okay, he was thinking, hey, we'll go out there, and I couldn't really hear him, right? When he was talking, I couldn't hear because the way the speakers were set up. I heard him saying something. I thought he was like, because before that match, it's like, or before the show, he's like, you can't make a mistake out there, right? So I'm thinking, he wants to like involve in the match or something, right? Like, you see how we'd work on our feet and the ad lib and stuff like that, right? And I'm like, what are you gonna do? Fire me? Like, I'm standing in the middle of the ring. Like, and then Brian goes, the referee goes, I think he's serious. I'm like, serious about what? I can't hear him. So he called him over. He goes, Tajiri's going to drop kick you, go to the back. So I talked with Vince afterwards, and he said, it's like if they're chanting boring, they're bored. Well, you can't argue with the guy because he comes back with, an answer like that. But it's like if they're chanting, and I understand how, like, the agent told me. Like I said, well, one of your agents told me that, if they're chanting boring, you just sit on hold, right? At least I had Tajiri fight up, and, I snap-married him, kicked him, and he's like, well, obviously that agent wasn't a top guy. Well, yeah, your top guys save their money and they don't need to work, and, so they don't become agents. I don't know any of your top guys, except nowadays you got some guys that have really drawn some serious money that are agents and stuff. But like, there was like no arguing. Like, what do you say? Okay, so if they're chanting to a girl, show your tits. Are they obligated to show their tits? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, it was just like a lot of people online they were upset and all that, like how Vince handled that. But anyways, I actually got a really good payoff too. So
was that kind of the end of that? Did you ever talk with Vince about it again, or was it just kind of?
No, we talked after. We talked after the match, and that was it. So.
Yeah.
But I think he felt bad because I did get a really good paycheck for that match. I'm like, well, shit, I wish he would have came out after the first reverse chin lock I put Tajiri in.
Yeah.
So, and that's when, it was actually a pretty good house too, but like I got a little bit more, I think, on the end. But I mean, it was a learning experience too. A lot of people online were like, they had my back, because I think at that time they really appreciated my hard work, even Tajiri's. So, but anyways.
Yeah.